Okay, the wet snow came, but it came a day late. Probably can't fly though, because it is a mix of snow and rain. I found in the past with light dry snow, the drone flies fine and nothing adheres to the actual drone. And for the topic about drones, DJI being blacklisted in the US could mean trouble for the company, just in terms of trying to get parts. It'll affect their ability to create products in general, especially if they rely on US tech. And a lot of companies are actually coming out saying they welcome the blacklist, and some are even calling DJI products bad, I guess you could say. Like, I was reading this one here, it says Alpine 4 Technologies Ltd. Spencer Gore discusses the blacklisting of Chinese drone manufacturer DJI and its impact on Impossible Aerospace's ability to capture market share. The Department of Commerce added drone manufacturer DJI to the entity list of Chinese companies prohibited from procurement of advanced American technology. DJI represents 70 to 80% of the commercial drone market, creating vast opportunities for American drone companies like Alpine 4's Impossible Aerospace. Alpine 4 and IA support government blacklisting of DJI. And he says here, last week's decision by the Department of Commerce sent a strong signal. Foreign actors which act contrary to the values of the United States will no longer benefit from our advanced technology. Alpine 4 believes in the power of American manufacturing and technology. The vertical integration of quality circuit assembly in IA leads to control and security through the production process, inspiring confidence among government agencies. The decision highlights a nationwide vulnerability. Chinese-made drones are still used at all levels of government in the United States. For example, at least 924 law enforcement agencies around the United States own DJI drones as of 2020. And they emphasize products which have been unequivocally banned by the Department of Defense, Department of Interior, and Department of Justice. These law enforcement agencies will now need an alternative to stay compliant. American companies stand ready to provide it. The entity listing of DJI is an important step in breaking up a monopoly that has crippled American innovation for too long. American drone companies, for the first time ever, will now have the playing field tilted to their advantage to build a robust and resilient domestic capability. They have the benefit of advanced, uniquely American technology, the world's best microprocessors, advanced thermal cameras, graphic chips, and machine learning hardware. Now for myself, I actually never heard of this Alpine 4 before, but reading this, I heard of this company. This one says, Alpine 4's acquisition of Impossible Aerospace was only the first step in this initiative. News to be revealed over the next year will show the intensity and scale of our aim to be the largest manufacturer of small UAS in North America. So this drone was that Impossible drone. I remember reading a while back where they were saying this drone could fly for over an hour. And if I remember correctly, this drone was designed with the battery first in mind, and then they made the drone around that, versus the other way around where you make the drone and then you figure out what kind of battery that you could put in. And here's where they get really aggressive. It says, even with their inferior airframes and flight times, DJI's market ownership of the commercial drone space was forecasted to continue its dominance for years to come. The new event completely opens up billions of dollars in the global market for the US one and its future variants to dominate the market. I'm excited for the Impossible Aerospace and for opportunities it creates in the US commercial drone market. So as mentioned, lots of companies basically celebrating the fact that DJI is being blacklisted, although it does make me think a little bit and a little worried, because it's one thing to ban something because it's dangerous, they're doing something very, I guess, unethical. I don't know if that's the case, if they say that's what they're doing with the drone technology and so forth. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, I don't know. But what I personally don't like is when companies say, oh yeah, it's great, ban them so it gives us more opportunities. In my opinion, laws and stuff should never be used as a way to suppress competition. Otherwise, it reminds me of even here with ridiculous drone regulations that make absolutely no sense. The only people that say, oh yeah, it's fantastic the way it is in every single way, are commercial operators that want to limit the drones so that they are the only ones in the air. Then they'll say, oh yeah, we welcome this. That way only the professionals are in the air. And funny enough, and sadly in many ways, when I look at some of those people's work, I'm like, you are a professional? That's what you film? Man, like again, creating laws should not be a way to suppress competition. So that would be my worry in that aspect. What does everyone else think? You think it's just a matter of time, for example? If this continues, you'll probably buy a different company drone too? On a fun note, yesterday I basically took videos with two different type of cameras. One was a smartphone, one was with this action camera, and I was just interested, which one do you think it looks better? Because some comments came up about it, and you guys posted some comments. The first one says, camera on the left looks the best. Next one says, camera on the left is sharper, but it crushes the blacks far too much, so the image on the right looks better. Another one says, camera on the left had a crisper image and a better depth of field in my opinion. And then the last comment was, I prefer the output of the right camera. The dynamic range appears to be a bit better. Which is which? So according to this, you guys tied. It's 2-2. There's no concise decision. The left one was from the smartphone, the right one was from the action camera. And there was no tiebreaker because the only other comment here was a thumbs up. So that's neutral, I guess. It's kind of interesting too, because in terms of quality, that kind of shows me everyone kind of has a different criteria on what they look for in terms of quality. Is it things like the sharpness? Is it the color? And speaking of cameras and trying to film animals, I guess a lot of them are hiding because of the snow today too. It's like all birds out today only. Singing in the snow rain. And for the wisdom tooth recovery, I've been moving on to soft foods. Again, I don't feel the pain, so I think I can safely conclude I basically bypassed any of that stuff, fortunately. So recovery going well so far. Overall, I feel like it's normal for the most part in terms of talking and all that. Don't really notice the bleeding or anything either. Just taking it slowly still just to make sure before moving on back to any hard chewing food or anything like that. I guess with that in mind, there's no flying today either because of the rain. I guess it's time for the archive. Alright, see you guys later.